We're going to wait a few more minutes, see if anybody else shows up. Just a few more minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Are we ready, Alicia? All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. I got to work on this. I can't walk past like this over here, or I can't go past over there because the camera will not pick me up if I venture outside that area. So if I go too far, please say, you need to go back the other way. Thank you all for coming today to the Day of Learning. What could be better than a day of learning? It's going to be very exciting. We got a whole day full of exciting things for you. No, actually, it should only take about an hour and a half or so. You won't be here all day. And we are presenting again this afternoon, so if you do need to leave at some point, if you come back this afternoon, you can get the rest of the information that you may have missed. But we really appreciate you being here today. Today's agenda looks like this. Some of you already saw it because it was up on the screen earlier. We have an amazing team here at Scotia Village, and we also have amazing residents that we serve. And we have great and amazing leaders that lead all those amazing people on our team. And today you're going to hear from each of them. So they're going to be sharing a little bit about what goes on in their department. Some of it you may already know, and it'll be a refresher. Some of it may be new to you, and hopefully all of it will be useful. So they're all each going to come up and they're going to share information at the end of their little presentation. You can ask questions. You can also ask questions at the end if you would like. And then when we're all done, they have little tables set up with information about things in their department. Ken wins the award. He's got actual food. Whoever makes it to his table first gets the, what is that, what do you call that same? A roast beef sandwich, a hamburger, who's ever there, there's cheesecake, who's ever there first gets it. So but we're very glad that y'all are here today. And I'm going to start with the administration. Helen's not here today, so I'm going to be presenting some of her information as well. I know that she would do it better than I, but she asked me to do it, and I said, of course. But first, let's talk a little bit about Kentura, everybody's favorite word, Kentura. So just to remind y'all, Kentura is a combination. If you try to copyright something these days, you can't use real words because all the real words have been taken. So you have to, that's why people end up making up words because you can't use a real word. So remember, kin is the word, kind of the root of kind and kindred, and then tura is the Gaelic word for journey. So Kentura together means kind or family-friendly journey. All right, the motto is living life well. I wanted to point out the org chart to y'all because it's a little bit different than what we've had, obviously, but Kentura has a board of directors. And then on this side of the ledger here, you have what was Brightspire. The Presbyterian Homes doing business as Brightspire, Glen Eyre, which is part of the Presbyterian Homes. You have a Brightspire board of directors, a Glen Eyre board of directors down here serving these people up here. Then you have the Wellspring Services, which was brought into the organization, and there's a board of directors there for the Wellspring Services. Then there's Wellsprings Retirement Community, which has a board of directors. Alamance Extended Care, doing business as the Village of Brookwood. They have their board of directors. Then the Adult Center for Enrichment, doing business as Wellspring Solution with their board of directors. The interesting thing is that all these board of directors are the same people that serve this board here. So it's one big board serving all those different boards. There's 5 members from the Wellspring side, and there are 5 members from the Presbyterian Home Brightspire side, and then there are 3 members at large and then 2 resident members for 15 total members. But there's only one board of directors. I talked to Bill McElwain. Some of y'all saw him the other day here at our budget meeting. He says it's kind of strange because you go and you put on a hat for Scotia Village, you approve that budget, you put on the hat for Glen Eyre, you approve that budget, so they wear the hats for all the different boards. All right? $152 million operating budget in 2025. $754 million of total assets in 2024. That's the latest figure I could get off the website. I'm sure it's more than that now. $65.5 million between Brightspire and Wellspring Foundations, 2,100 employees, and then 3,200 plus residents. Y'all are part of a large organization, which really helps us since we're so small. This is a snapshot of Scotia Village. Some of y'all may know this information, some may not. But groundbreaking was 1987. We opened on December 12th, 1988. Ann Kinney was our first resident. Imagine her. She was the only person here in this big giant building. And she had all these employees working for her. How cool is that? Resident Association formed in 1989. Scotia Village has been very active with resident advocacy since the beginning. In fact, I don't see Mr. Olmsted, but Clint Willis was very instrumental in getting NORCRA formed as well. So there's always been a lot of resident advocacy here at Scotia Village. We're on 66 acres. We have 126 independent living units, 28 assisted living units, and 58 skilled units, 10 of those being memory care. Today we have 245 residents. The oldest resident is 102 years old. Many of you know who she is. We have 185 team members, and we're one of the larger employers in the county and the area, believe it or not. We have a 5-star nursing center, which is within a 25-mile radius. I think we're the only one. A-plus sanitation grades across the campus. They were just here last week in our healthcare center. We got a 97.5, which was great. $16 million in an operating budget last year, and then $21 million in cash and investments between operations and foundation. And at the bottom, I think y'all would agree, we like being a small community. How are we organized? The main thing I want to point out is that arrow going from open door policy to the people all listed on here. If you go up and down the halls, well, not so much anymore because Alicia and Helen like to keep their doors shut since so many of y'all walk by. But in general, we have an open door policy here. Any of these folks here are available to you anytime you need to see them. If you have questions or concerns or praises you want to talk to them about, they're always available. You don't need to call for an appointment. You can. If their door is open, just knock on it, all right? I know this is set up kind of vertically, but I really like to think it's more horizontal. I think of our team as a collaborative effort. I am the executive director, but I really depend on all the great people underneath that name to get done what we get done here at Scotia Village. Hannah, over here on the right or your left, she is the administrator of the healthcare center, which includes assisted living. Ravonda John is our community mentor, and she kind of runs assisted living with Hannah's guidance if she needs. She also manages our HR department, where Sharnessa Harrington, y'all know her, and Ravonda also handles skilled activities and skilled nutrition. Hannah works with Susan Dockery. Y'all met her. She's our director of nursing. She's also works directly with Alex Williams, our social worker. Jordan Grooms is not on there as our admissions coordinator, but she also works directly with her. And then underneath Susan is all of our skilled nurse mentors that work in the households that we have here. And then at the bottom, you see all the other managers that work here as well, and they'll be all talking today. Myra, Greg, Ken, Will, Sarah, and Melissa. The funny thing is, the line from me to them kind of, it's a direct report to me, but they work in with Hannah and Ravonda as well in all the different areas of the building and work closely with each other. So in the middle of that, you see Helen Adams. She kind of keeps everybody going. She really provides administrative support across the whole campus, and she also provides a lot of support to y'all. And she put this slide together about things that she does that directly help y'all. I know she does a lot more, but she wanted me to share this with you. She does the billing, distributing statements. She adds that electric charge or gas charge. Any extra charges, Helen's the one that puts them on your bill. She coordinates with the billing specialist if you have questions. She deposits checks. She sets up the direct draft for anybody that wants to use that to pay their statement. She also does our foundation work here on campus, takes deposits, distributes the annual report, and helps organize any luncheons or recognitions we might have. Other things she does, she helps with POAs, adding things to those or changing those documents, scheduling appointments with me. She manages the resident trust accounts. Some of our residents deposit money with us, and then they get that money through going back to Helen, and she helps get money for them. How many of y'all have been helped with her about IT? I know I have. My favorite thing to say during the day is, Helen! And she comes over, but she helps people with IT, so does Alicia. She manages the phone tree, distributes the medical deduction letters, handles postage, and she does our Christmas cheer as well. And that list could go on and on and on, but she does a lot of stuff for us here at Scotia Village. Next up, we have, do you have any questions? Yes?
Could you explain, we live independent out in the cottages, I'm sorry. We live outside in one of the cottages, is how the utility charges are determined for each of those independent living units that do have utilities on top of their monthly
We get a
fee.
bill for each unit that we have out there.
So it's separately metered, so to speak?
Yep, we
Okay.
get a separate bill for each one.
Okay, I thought that, but I just didn't know whether everybody else was aware of that. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right. Next up, we have Myra Bartel to come talk about resident services.
You gonna do that? You gonna click it? Change it. Hey, good morning, everybody. I talk with my hands, so I can't hold this, okay? I am your resident director. I'm director of resident service, okay? I'm very nervous. I love talking one-on-one, but standing in front of the crowd makes me a little nervous. So I have prepared a brochure here for you that'll go over a lot of this information that I have up here, okay? So you can ask me that later. So if you'll see, Director, I can't see, okay. Office is temporarily located beside the beauty shop. And when you go down to the beauty shop, there's a little hole there, and you have to walk all the way around the corner to find me. So you just keep going, and you'll find me. I'm in the corner. Responsible for the daily life of the residents, contacts new residents, orientation, coordinates independent residents transfer within Scotia, oversees a sitter companion program, manages ICON resident portal, coordinates room reservation, and I provide notary service. The notary service that I provide is the simple stuff. Transfer of cars, if you need something that has to have a signature on it, I have to see your signature. You just can't bring it to me and say, here, Myra, I got to see you sign it. And, but I don't do wills and power attorneys and stuff like that. That you have to go to a lawyer to get those done. Okay? Resident service assistant is Alicia. She's back there in the back. Her office, like, is out in the hall there. She assists me. She distributes notices concerning resident status. She arranges transportation service. And that's what I'm going to talk about at the very end. That's what I really want everybody to understand today. Oversees the volunteer program, and she manages the ICON, and she provides IT service. So if you need any of that, Alicia is your girl. She is very good with the IT, and she's with the ICON. She is teaching me as we speak. Jane, our reception, everybody knows she's down at the pool center. She receives your monthly statements, payments. She provides services, cash and checks, selling stamps. She keeps up with your packages. One thing about the packages that Jane asked me to let everybody know, if she calls you and has a package that day, please try to get it that day if you can, because she gets like 20 and 30 packages a day, and they'll stack up if you leave them sitting over there over a while. So y'all are doing a lot of Amazon shopping. A lot of, since COVID, everybody shops Amazon. All right, communicates general information to the residents, visitors, and staff. If most of the time, if you're there, Jane can answer the question. And if she can't, she can find me or Alicia. And if you need to know where we're at and we're not in our office, Jane knows where we're at. So she can answer a lot of questions. And she also handles the lost and found items. So if you lose something, look Jane up. She has it. Our chaplain is Miss Chaplain Linda Nelson. Her office now is up in Heather Glen on the second floor. If you'll pass the nurses' stations to the right, she's down the hall there on the right. So that's where she's at. She said she provides ministerial service for residents and staff. She initiates visitation. She leads worship services. She provides for religious educational opportunities, and she helps to coordinate memorial services. So Miss Linda and I do those together. So, like I say, all this information is in here in this little brochure that I have. Okay, I'm very nervous. Okay, the responsibility of resident service is education, level of care, transition assistance, management of ICON, memorial service coordination, notary service, sitter, companion coordination, spiritual opportunities, transportation service, and volunteer service. And I have also on our team are the drivers. Clyde Morris, well, Clyde does a little everything, you know. He drives, he helps at the desk, he brings you your packages, your medicine, runs little errands for everybody in management, because he helps us do a lot of different little things. And then we have George Purnell, Whit Gibson, Carl McIntyre, Sam Kelly. Our transportation, they provides transportation to community events, out-of-town trips, and residents' out-of-county medical appointments. Our relief receptionists, our receptionists in the afternoon is Lynn Peel, Rhonda Hester, Jim Pleasant, and Emma Roseborough. They do basically everything that Jane does in the mornings, they do at night. And if you have any questions, or if you need to get up with one of the managers, they'll help you contact them on the weekends. Okay, so any questions about that? Yes, Mr. Buzz. Yes, he was asking, does the desk close down at 9 o'clock? The desk does close down at 9 o'clock. If you need any help, then you call security, and the security number is posted in different areas, but you can call security and they'll come help you. Okay? Questions? Oh, Ms. Brown.
I have to say this because it's election season.
Uh-oh.
Myra, for anybody who wishes to vote by absentee, their signature needs to be witnessed either by two people or a notary. Will you notarize that?
Yes,
Okay,
and I've
thank you.
already done a couple already.
Great.
So if you need your votes notared, bring it to me and I can do it. But always remember, you got to sign it in front of me, okay?
Right.
Just got to sign everything in front of me. I got to see you sign your signature.
And I'm sorry, one more question. When we first moved in, which was over 9 years ago, we received a binder with all this information. It was wonderful, as well as a map of the campus and who lived where, et cetera. Are we keeping that up, or is it just on Icon, kept on Icon?
Right now, all that stuff is on Icon. I think there's also one in the library. Have we updated the one in the library, Alicia? Okay, we need to check the book in library and see if it's updated. So there's one in there also. I know the calendars and the residents and staff director, we give you a copy of the updates like every 6 months on those.
Carol Edwards also gives the new residents lots of that information.
Okay, that's great. She said Carol Edwards gives all the new residents gets the same, a lot of the information too. So they get it that way. But if your book is really old, and you would like some of the stuff updated, just let me know. And give me a couple of days and we can kind of update some of the books, the main information and stuff.
Because it even gives services outside of Scotia, like local
Okay.
stuff. And for people who lived in Laurinburg for a while, they may not need it, but for somebody who had never lived, that was also.
Okay, we can do that. So if you'd like your book updated, let us know. All right? Now, let me switch to this. This is the very important thing that I want to talk about, is transportation. You've noted, this is a new form. I got to put this here for just a second. Okay, you know with our transportation forms, you go to Alicia if you need to go out on the transportation. If it's a medical out of county, she'll give you one of these forms, and you'll fill it out and bring it back to her, and she will schedule a driver. Also, the same way if it's a personal trip. If you just want to go meet your family in Fayetteville somewhere, or if you got some business that you need to handle, this will happen there also. You'll get this from Alicia, and she'll fill it out. We have a lot of residents now that are going to the airport, so we've made a new form for the airport. So, because it'll have like your departure time, return time, and information on there. So the driver and Alicia will have all that. So these are the 3 forms that you will get from Alicia, okay? And this is all out-of-town trips and events, okay? You will get this from Alicia. Now, we are starting a new one, and Hannah and I and Susan have got together, and this is an in-county medical transportation, and that's what you're seeing right up here. The part that's got the little arrows or the little box, that is the information you need to fill out. These forms are in the, where the employees' mailbox area is at. Right up on our row, you'll see 2 little things, and it'll say in-county medical appointment blank forms. That's where you'll get this form. And then when you fill it out, right up under it, it'll say in-county medical forms filled out, something like that. So that's where you'll find those at, okay? We've got together and we worked on this, and it's also going to say they need 72 hours in advance to do this. Because we've had some residents that come in on Saturday and said they had an appointment Monday morning. Well, we're not here. And then we walk in Monday morning and you've got an appointment at 9 o'clock and we've got to find a driver. So you need to, if you know you have a regular appointment that you go to every month, get one of these forms and fill them out. Just as soon as you get an appointment, fill it out and turn it in that box. Hannah or Susan and Latasha will check that box every day and make sure she gets your forms, okay? Once you fill it out, they will pick this form up, and then they'll fill out the bottom. They'll tell you what time they're going to pick you up and where they're going to pick you up. Most of the time, it's at the front entrance where Jane's at. Sometimes if it's outside in the garden apartments, they'll pick you up at your house. So they'll let you know where they need to pick you up and what time they're going to pick you up, because we want to make sure we get you to your appointments on time. Okay, so all this information is down here. And I've got on here that they'll make sure you get this. After you turn it in, you'll get it right back. Okay, so this is just for in-county medical appointments. Okay, did I say that clear? A little clear, okay. No, sir, there is no cost for this. Yes, there's charges on those. On the other ones, if you take our vehicle, if you use one of our vehicles, we charge you for gas and for the driver. If we use your vehicle, and we got to make sure it's in good shape, we'll have to approve your vehicle. If we use your vehicle, then we just charge for the driver. Okay? Yes, I'm looking at Alicia because she's an icon girl. We can get it on there. That's why I was looking at her. Yes, we can get this form on there also, so you'll have that if you need it. Okay, so remember, this is going to be, we'll get it on Icon, and it's over where the employee mailboxes are, and there's a form you need to fill out and return it and put it up under that slot. And just as soon as you get your appointment, I know some of you have regular appointments, if you go that day and they give you a card, pick one of these up, fill it out at the round table, and stick it right back in the box. Even if it's 3 weeks or a month, then they'll already have it. Okay, any questions? Okay, I am finished. Welcome, Ken.
Good morning. I'm Ken Jones, and I'm Director of Dining. I've been here now, believe it or not, January will be my 8th year. So I've enjoyed every day of it. So I'm going to enjoy every other day that I do. Before I get started, the first thing I want to do is I want to thank all you residents for helping with this transition that we're doing right now. You know, I know it's really hard for you, but you guys have been great with me and my team. You've been patient, you've been understanding, and I want to thank you for being so patient and understanding with the team. Okay. Next, I'm going to talk about a few things that I provide for dining and a few things that dining provides as well. Okay, first I'm going to talk about a little management that I do from the administration point. One thing I do is develop and implement dining service policies and procedures. I manage the department's budget, including the labor and food costs. Probably the hardest thing is the food costs. So, you know, like during COVID, at one time, food costs went up 17%. So if you did that math, that would be ridiculous. Ridiculous. And it's still ridiculous because right now, some food costs with the tariffs and everything, they're about 7%. So trying to budget that is really hard. When I started here in 2018, my food budget was around $465,000. This year is $980,000. Seems like a lot, but the amount of times that the food has gone up year by year, it is insurmountable. It is a lot. So, yeah. One thing we also do, we hire, train, supervise, and evaluate the dining staff. We ensure compliance with all health and safety sanitation regulations. That includes our health department and our state surveys that we do every year. We maintain records and conduct administrative reports. Okay. One other thing we do, along with myself and my executive chef and manager, we plan, develop, and organize nutrition and appealing menus that meet residents' preferences and dietary needs. We do the best that we can when it comes to that. We know that everyone don't like collard greens or cabbage or something like that, but we try to have a variety of all food items as much as we can. So we try and keep it, you know, guessing for you. We don't have a set menu. We don't do a monthly, 6-week, or anything like that like most communities do. So we try and do as many menus as you can understand without you guessing what the next menu is going to be. So 6 weeks from now, it won't be the same menu as it is from 1 week from now. So we don't do those things. We try to make sure you eat in a different restaurant at least every week. So, yeah. All right. We coordinate with dietitians to ensure nutritional standards are met. I oversee the preparation and service of meals, ensuring the quality, taste, and presentation meets the standards. Manage food and supply ordering, inventory, and quality control. Accommodate special dietary requirements such as low sodium, gluten-free, or diabetic diets. So any of you have any food preferences or things that you don't like say for instance, we're doing cauliflower and broccoli or something like that, and you only want cauliflower with no salt or anything like that, you can call dining, and we will prepare it for you the way that you want. If you want pork with no sauce on it or anything like that, you can call us, and we'll prepare it any way that you like. These are your meals. This is your dining area. So if you let us know, we'll make sure we prepare it exactly the way that you want it. Resident relations and satisfaction. One thing I do is, most of you, whenever you do come here as a new resident, I'm going to greet you. I'm going to bring you all of my menus. I'm going to bring you the serving hours, and I'm going to talk to you about dining for a little bit, along with my little welcome basket that I bring you. Another thing that we do, we hold regular meetings with residents, such as food committee meetings, and we get feedback from them. We have a food committee meeting this coming Tuesday, so I'm pretty sure we'll be talking about some of the renovations and things like that. So one thing that we, and myself, you know, I want to make sure that I do with you is address any concerns or service issues promptly. Any concerns, no matter good or bad, because we want to know it all, and I definitely want to know it all. You know, I know we're not doing everything perfect, you know, but I want to know anything that you have a concern. There's no such thing as too small or too big. All right. We also want to make sure that your dining experience gives you a sense of community. One thing I do like about serving over in the cafe right now, it's small. You'll see a lot of residents sitting with other residents that they normally wouldn't sit with if we're in the big dining room. I love it. It looks beautiful. So I hope you enjoy that too. I hope that continues when we open up the new bistro. Please continue it. A few other things, the operating and logistics portion of it. Coordinate dining services with other departments such as nursing, resident service, and wellness. Just like tomorrow, Sarah has some her trick-or-treat thing going tomorrow, so she coordinates those things. Myra, she does a lot of that when it comes to functions and things of that nature. So, and even if you guys ever need to do a private event or anything like that, you can get with myself, get with Myra or Alicia, and we'll get that for you. Okay? We ensure the cleanliness and safety of all dining and kitchen areas. We get inspected from health departments quarterly, every 4 months. And I will say, and I enjoy it, but we probably get inspected harder than any other area that's in this surrounding county. And it's because of who we serve. So our score that we get, it's not a gimme, because she checks hard. She's here for like 2.5, 3 hours. But she's doing her job. She's making sure that we do our job to keep you guys safe. We also keep emergency food and water available for our residents for a minimum of 3 days, with residents and staff. Right now, I have probably 600 gallons of water upstairs, and that's for the residents and that's for the staff. And I also keep at least 3 days minimum of food supply on hand. So even if, a lot of times it looks like that I'm full when I'm in the dining room area, it's because I have to have an additional 3 days of food on hand. A few core services that dining provides: meal preparation and service. We provide regular meals, snacks, beverages with a flexible option like formal and dining formal setting. So when we do open, the cafe area that we are in now will be the formal dining, and the bistro will be the informal dining. So we like to offer a restaurant-style service. We do the best with training our wait staff. Hopefully, they're always cordial and inviting when you come in. And we try and get and create a more at-home experience, not a going out to a restaurant or anything like that. We want to make you feel like you're at home. That way you can have conversations with the residents. You can have conversations with my staff. And it feels like you're eating at home. We want to make it feel like you're eating a homely meal. Nutritional oversights. Our menus are planned to ensure a balanced and healthy meal options. We try and make sure that we keep at least a different meal option available. There's always going to be 3 different entrees that's going to be available, and one of them will be a heart healthy. The heart healthy won't have any oil or any salt or anything on it. So we try to make sure we always provide those 3. Well, we do make sure we provide those 3. Also, my staff will assist with any other dining-related issue. If you ever need help cutting your food, they will help with no problem at all. It is never a problem. So a lot of times, they know who to help, and they will automatically just come over and help. So never feel like you're ever bothering us, because you're never a bother. Definitely not. Social and community. We love to see you guys get together. I love putting things for you together and seeing you come and talk and enjoy your ice creams and snacks of that nature. So I know you enjoy it too, especially the ice cream part. All right, communal dining areas. Provide a large dining area to facilitate interaction and socialization among residents. Social events, hosting special dining events like themed dinners. Oktoberfest is tomorrow in this room. Please come. Please come enjoy some good food. Friday. I'm thinking it's Thursday. I'm moving too fast. I'm going too fast. It is Friday. Friday. We do holiday celebrations, Thanksgiving, Christmas, to that nature. And a few months ago, Steve did a cooking demonstrations for the residents. I'm pretty sure you still can see that on Icon now, the cooking demonstration that he did. As I was just speaking on earlier, too, about private events, we provide private events and services for the residents and their families and friends. We like for you to show us off. We like for you to do that with your friends and family. Maybe they'll want to come here and hang out with you all the time. So, if you want to do private events, get with myself, get with Myra, Alicia, and we'll coordinate that for you. Okay? We do also offer room service. If you just don't want to come over at that day, you can call dining and we'll bring the food to you. It is a $5 surcharge for that. But if you're not feeling well, if you're injured, things of that nature, you can get with the nurse and she will give us a paper for how many days that you need your food delivered, what meals you need your food delivered, and we'll bring it to you. No charge at all. Plus, too, if you call me and you say, Ken, I'm not feeling good today, I am not going to charge you. That won't happen. You know, if you haven't had a chance to get with the nurse yet. Questions? Thank you. With it.
You guys remember what this building is? Doesn't really look like that now, does it? So Ken stole a little bit of my thunder. I'm Will Miller, in charge of sales and marketing, and we are appreciative of all your patience through all of our renovations. It will be great in the long run. I know it's hard in the short run, so I wanted to, like Ken, just echo how y'all have been awfully good to deal with. I know it's not easy. Change is not easy. So thank you for that. So yeah, that's what it used to look like. And as far as marketing goes, we're excited about the changes. The changes will help us market Scotia. I know it's beautiful now, but the changes will keep us current with what's going on in the market. All of other sister communities have already done some renovation like this. When we've gone to see it, many of them will really help us do our jobs better. So let's see. Oop. The side one? Thank you. I should know this. So who is the sales and marketing department? So Barbara and Coy are in the back. Y'all can stand up. Everybody knows Barbara and Coy. Yeah, great job. So Barbara is our move-in coordinator. She helps everybody as they move in, do their selections, and makes that as easy a transition as possible, because it is difficult, it is emotional, it is stressful, and we understand that. So she took over for Daphne. Daphne trained her well, so we just need more move-ins. So, and then Coy took over for Krissa and helps in the organization of marketing events, which we aren't doing any really right now, and our sales. So Krissa did text me yesterday. We texted Krissa's doing great up in Boone and misses us and says hello to everybody. So, but, I have one other team member or team members that are most important, and that is you. And that's actually very true. So this is just a picture of a good get-together there, and it's symbolic of all of you. Because Scotia has wonderful bricks and mortar. It's a pretty place, 66 acres of tall pine trees. It's beautiful. It's not busy, and it's getting even more pretty. There are things that we can do and do better. There are things that need to be fixed. All that stuff, I'll leave that to Greg. But it's a wonderful place to be. But when folks come and see us, they like that we have this great bricks and mortar. They like that we have a pretty place to be, but they really like you. And what we always try to tell folks is when they come and think about Scotia, is this really where you want to be? Do you want to sit down and eat dinner with these folks for the rest of your lives? Are you comfortable here? Do you feel kind of at peace? And do you feel like this is a good place to be? And really, that's you. That's you and how you interact, your friendliness and your way that you draw them in. And it's our staff, and our staff, how they interact with prospects as they're coming around. A lot of times when we do tours, it is very intentional that I'll get up and leave the table and go get some paperwork for them. And I do that because if it's a couple or just a single person, you guys go and say hello to them when they're eating a meal. They aren't there left alone. And that just shows how warm and inviting our place is. So our job, I mean, we can do a good job promoting Scotia, but you guys are the ones who kind of, quote, sell Scotia. So it really is you. So if there are things that, you know, we all want to do to make your lives better here, it's you who really promote our community. So thank you. Y'all do a great job. And I'll show you how you're doing a great job. So right now, we are 99.2% full as far as being occupied. We have one person, Lynn Massey's moving in January to Ms. Butler's villa, and so that will make us 100% again. So they'll be 100% occupied. And it's just, we tease about life at Scotia. Everything's written in pencil. We all know that life changes. It changes on a dime, so we have to enjoy every day that we have. And so we know that things will change. And this is a small town, and I think a change is coming, and you guys know about the changes sooner than I do most of the time, so it's amazing. So we have a growing waiting list. So we have 46 on the priority list and 26 on the ready list. So those two lists are super important. And as we grow those, that makes that turnover of when something becomes open filled quicker. And financially, that's great for Scotia. So we need the entrance fee and then the monthly fee. So the sooner we can get somebody in to fill that open unit, the quicker we get that monthly fee, and that just helps with all of our expenses and trying to take care of you guys in a financially prudent way. So our waiting lists really help us do that. The priority list, I always describe, is a $1,200 investment, as y'all may all remember. It's for folks who are kicking the tires of Scotia. Do I like Scotia? Does this feel good to me? Do I enjoy coming out here? If they're close, we love folks to come out more often. So the ready list is somebody that says, you know, Scotia's my place, and depending on where they'd like to move into, the waiting list can be less than a year to 3 years. So, and we can't move everybody to the ready list because we don't have space for certain types of housing units. So actually our 2-bedroom villa is probably our most popular housing or floor plan, just for your info there. So the waiting lists are great. So it's been really strange this year. We've only had 6 move-ins all year. And so that is actually less than half of our normal turnover. So I went back since I've gotten here, which is just after Ken. I got here in June or July of 2019, so a little over 6 years. So just listen to these. So this year, 2025, we had 6 move-ins. Last year, 14. The year before, 22. The year before that, 15. The year before that, 19. 2020, one of the COVID years, we had 10. And then the year before that, the first year I got here in 2019, we had 20. So it's crazy how much that vacillates. And it's due, you know, to all sorts of different reasons, but we like to have some turnover. We never want folks to do badly, but that's why we're here. We offer this continuum of care, and so that's what you guys are counting on. That's what you have invested in. And it's odd, all were in the big house except for the Ed and Debbie Williams 2-bedroom garden apartment. So no villas and no homes turned over this year. So, can you hit that? Thanks, Alicia. So this is my, okay, all right, you're alive, you're smiling here. All right, that's good, Alicia. So that was actually the fireworks display out at the airport for the air show. So that was really cool. So I say that to conclude with this. To conclude with this. Help me, Alicia. Oh. Would you drag it through? I know. Okay. So here's what we have. I don't know if you realize this, but we offer a referral bonus. So a couple things you need to know as far as sales and marketing go. We market ourselves through many number of different ways. We don't do the kind of quote lunch and learns out at hotels or places anymore. That really is way by the wayside. It was very expensive. We spent your money doing that, and we just didn't get much bang for the buck. So we're investing in other more technologically savvy ways to market, and it's working. We probably get, on the average, at least a lead a day. We don't go and cold call anybody. The only folks that Coy and I, and then Barbara does some emailing for us as far as sales goes, are all folks that have contacted us or that you guys have put us on to. So we don't cold call. We don't harass folks. And if they don't want us to call them, that's fine. We take them off our list for their benefit and for ours. So we're really looking for folks that want to be here. But our best source of folks coming into Scotia come from you, the referrals. So I know a number of residents have used this. So it's a pretty great thing for you or you and your spouse or partner. You would get a full month's of your rent as a bonus for referring somebody to Scotia. So that's a huge thing. That can be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. Isn't that a big thing? Is that a good thing? All right, good. You're alive. Thank you. I need that. So this is crazy great news. Okay, a little fine print for this. So the qualifying referrals are for independent living. That's what we deal with. So not for assisted or skilled. It's just for independent. The prospect, and I hate reading the slides to you. You can read, but I want to emphasize this. They need to have not been already on our list. You need to bring them to us. So if we're already dealing with them, we're already engaged with them. So it's folks that you bring to us. 62 years old is our minimum. You can bring them earlier than that, and we can start working with them because our sales cycle can be up to 7 years at least. So folks can come in and start talking to us at 62 and not move until they're 70 or over, or later than that, obviously. So it's a long sales cycle. They must be income qualified. You must be actively helping us to do it, and you'll get a 1-month credit after they move in. So that's wonderful. And the reason we emphasize that and spend so much money on it is that you guys are the best source of sales for us. Your referrals are wonderful. If you're happy, you'll tell folks. So, everybody remember who this is? Remember this? Oh, Ross Perot? Yeah? Oh, you met him? Naval Academy grad. Sorry, Ken. But anyway, so some questions. What do y'all have of questions of us? Yes, Tom.
I know that there have been a couple of attempts at expansion that haven't worked out. Is Kentura thinking about any expansion of the residential campus?
Yes. So we expanded and built the 2 villas and 3 homes a few years ago that are occupied now, which is great. We attempted to do an expansion over here that was really, it was too, in my opinion, it was just too big and we weren't ready to do that. And how I'm glad that we weren't successful in that because I think it would have hurt our landscaping, in my opinion. So I'm kind of sticking my neck out a little bit here, so don't tell Kentura I said that. So, but I think we will have a better plan, Tom. It's a great question. Some of it hinges on land that we can acquire. Some of it just is to be seen. But I think we will. I think it will be scaled down. I think right now we have about 245 residents total. We have 171 independent living residents. I don't think we'll ever be over 300 residents. We're just not going to grow that big. But depending on what happens over here with St. Andrews and some of that land, if that comes to fruition, we'll probably expand some. But no plans yet because the land's not available. So that's a great question. Any other questions? All right, one question you should ask me is, we're full, we've got these waiting lists. What are we doing? I mean, you know, you guys just sitting up on the third floor, just hanging out in Mr. Bohannon's old apartment, got your own kitchen, got your own bathroom, it's awfully nice up there. No. So we are trying to build these lists, and we're cleaning up our database from years gone by. Actually, some that were even in there from COVID, and that's been really hard. So up to now, up to this point in the month here in October, Coy and I have made 597 phone calls. Now, we don't like making that many phone calls because they are to people who aren't interested anymore, they've done something else, or, you know, they're just leads that need to have been cleaned up. So we're working hard up there to try to get our database cleaned up. And Barbara's doing a lot of mailing of letters to folks, just try to connect with them. And every once in a while, we'll find kind of a pearl that's been left there, but it's just a lot of work. So 600 phone calls, and we're just 3 weeks into the month. So that's kind of what we've been doing. And we'll start doing more planning for marketing events once the renovation is done in the bistro, and then we'll figure things out there. All right. Any other questions? I don't have any more for myself, if you guys have one. Okay. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Greg Hutchison, Director of Maintenance, Emergency Management, Security, Fire Safety, Life Safety. Subtitles keep going. A little bit of everything, do it all, Dolly. Of all the stuff that maintenance does, takes care of, I decided just to talk about some fire safety today. It's a big topic on everybody's mind, especially in the evening after all the staff pretty much goes home. Who's here to take care of you? So I was just going to talk about some of that today. What I'm going to talk about is the fire safety and the building features. The main topics are going to be the fire system components, training, life safety inspections, being prepared, being vigilant, and fire is awareness. So the first slide here is talking about some of the components. The fire alarm panel, that's the brains of the whole fire system. That's where any of the signals, if a pull station is pulled, a smoke detector detects smoke or heat, it all sends the information back to the fire panel. And then the fire panel is what actually sends the message out to our monitoring system off-site, and then they call the fire department. That seems like a lot, but it happens within nanoseconds. As soon as the signal's captured from one of the pull station, comes to the panel starts to go off, the alarm goes off in the building, the monitoring company receives the signal, they turn around within seconds, call the local fire department, and the great thing is the fire department is only a couple minutes down the road from us, and they respond very quickly. So it's really good. Smoke detectors are located throughout the building, also out in the houses and garden apartments. Those are all tied directly to the fire panel. When one of those detects the heat or the smoke, the fire panel goes off. Some of the smoke detectors actually set off the whole building system and let everybody know. The ones that are actually in your apartments and in your houses only alert at the panel and let us know, so that everybody doesn't know you burnt breakfast. Okay. Horns and strobes are also located throughout the building. Those are designed to be very loud and very bright and alert you that there is a fire condition, that you should take some kind of evasive action to get out of the building or get to safety. Sprinkler heads. Now, the healthcare section of the building is sprinklered. The independent side is not. That is up to code. The sprinkler heads in the nursing or skilled section came about due to 2 healthcare fires in skilled care facilities about 25 years ago now. And they were very devastating. A lot of people lost their life, and that's when the codes were changed after those 2 fires. And all skilled areas have to have sprinklers now. Pull stations, let's see, you can't really see that one. It's actually covered up, which is not correct. There's one in the back, and there's one right here behind Ken's impressive food display. Every door that leads out of the building that'll take you to safety will have a pull station at it, okay? We do have courtyards down in our skilled section. Those do not have pull stations at them because we don't want you to leave the building and go into the courtyard, because now you've put yourself in a box that you might not be able to get out of that's on fire. So it's not a good thing. You'll only find the pull stations at doors that lead you to safety. Smoke compartments. This is a little confusing to people at times. Smoke compartments are sections of the building within a certain amount of square footage that have been designed by architects that are trained in how to set these up. And the smoke compartment is the floor, the walls, the doors, the ceiling, even this ceiling here is part of the smoke compartment that we're sitting in. How tight that the ceiling grid fits together to stop the spread of fire and smoke. Everything's fire rated to a certain point. The doors are fire rated, the ceiling, the floor, all that, which creates that smoke compartment. Smoke compartment also allows us not to have to run outside every time the fire alarm goes off. It lets us shelter in place, excuse me, lets us shelter in place and still be safe. If it's thundering, lightning, storming out, it might be 4 degrees outside. Instead of everybody having to go outside and be in that bad weather, we can just move to another section of the building while we're waiting on the fire department. Fire doors, as I said, integral part of the smoke compartments. They are designed to withstand the fire and slow it down and stop the spread of fire and smoke. As I was talking about earlier with the need for the sprinklers and skilled nursing, what also came about from those, I've seen the pictures and the videos from those fires, and they've got a picture of a hallway. It's completely devastated, destroyed, everything's charred black. The metal on the light fixtures basically is melted and looks like it's dripping down. They showed one of the outside, the hallway side of the residence door. It was completely charred black, and then they opened the door, took another picture, and it was perfectly pristine on the other side of that door. So fire doors work, okay? Your hallway doors work. There was actually a table with a couple of flowers in a vase, fresh flowers. They were fine. Nothing was wrong with them. They closed the door, took another picture from the inside of the room, looking back at the door, and there's just a few wisps of charredness coming from around the door after probably a 45-minute fire that was hot enough to melt the metal light fixtures. So the building systems, the way the building's designed, it's here to keep you protected and safe, and it will. The last component is you. We need everybody to think about fire safety, to do things properly, to follow some of the rules we do have here about like no lighted candles, stuff like that. So it's important. It is a big campus. There is a lot of building here. I can't look at all of it every day, so I do need feedback from y'all. If you see something or feel something's unsafe, I want that feedback. You know, I need it so that we can take care of it and look into it. Okay. Training. So when new staff come in, we do initial training and orientation. We also do fire drills once a month on each shift. It should be more, should say quarterly. We do for each shift. So say January, we would do first shift, February with second shift, and so on, and then it starts over the next quarter. And we rotate where we do the fire drills. We might do one in the farmhouse. We might do one in the kitchen. As we move around a little bit. We'll do one in administration. So we move around and get the feel for how each department is responding to the fires. fire extinguisher training and actual live fire extinguisher training, which we are doing this month, next week actually, with the staff. The fire department comes out and assists with that. We'll have a small pan that we set a fire in, and each staff member will actually put that fire out and get the feel of going through the motions to be able to shoot the fire extinguisher and get the feel of the fire extinguisher going off and putting out the fire. So it's a lot of fun. Everybody usually enjoys it, except for if it's a cold day, then I get a little flack from them. Fire safety quizzes, which I actually have for you guys. So pay attention to my presentation. There is a quiz at the end. Staff love them. You can see the smiles on everybody's faces. They love getting my fire safety quizzes each month. Crossword puzzles that reinforce the basic knowledge. And then we do annual training through Relias. Relias is our online program where there's modules on all the different safety and training that we need throughout the year. All right, so fire safety. So what are we actually doing each day, each month, each year to take care of y'all? We do life safety inspections. That's actually looking at the fire safety components. That's getting up in the ceiling, make sure that things are wired properly, things are routed properly. We do contracted inspections. We do 4 quarterly sprinkler inspections. We do an annual fire alarm inspection. And then we do, let's see. Yeah, we do the major fire alarm inspections, 4 sprinkler inspections, and then an annual sprinkler inspection where they actually come and they'll check the fire hydrants and some other components that we don't normally check on the other ones. Some in-house inspections. We do the fire door inspections. You'll see Jeff going out inspecting the fire doors. He's actually gone to school and been trained in a NFPA 80, which is the main policy and procedures for inspecting doors. We do above the ceiling inspections, exit light inspections. All exit lights have an extra battery inside of them, and that's what we go around monthly and check that. And just through daily walkthroughs, as any of my guys are walking through, they're looking for fire safety issues. We do an annual walkthrough with the fire department, and I forbid them after the last one because every time they would come and do an inspection, something bad happened. They came one year, and then we got hit with Florence. They came another year, we got hit with COVID. So I told them no more inspections, but no. I wish I could, but no. They do come out every year, and the fire department walks through. And on top of the state coming out doing life safety inspections on us, that's just one more inspection that we get from the local government. And then, as I said, we do an annual state inspection with the state. They come out and they specifically look at life safety and walk through the building. And we usually do really good on those. Any questions so far? Yes, ma'am.
What's the procedure for cleaning dryer vents in the houses or in the building?
That's a great question. We don't have an actual PM on that. It is something we've been looking at getting done. We've been trying to find some good tools to actually do that PM. But right now, if you put in a work order, we'll come clean it. But thank you for that question.
Is that with you with the maintenance, or is it with environmental services?
If you want to give it to Melissa, where'd she go?
I did, I get it, I gave
No,
it to.
no, that would be us. That would be
Oh,
us.
well, I put it on Melissa's, so
Yeah.
they're supposed to come out tomorrow and do it, but I'll see what happens.
Well, hey, she can have it. No, but that would be maintenance, yes.
If we have residents who have fire extinguishers in their house, and they probably all need to be updated and maybe recharged and checked, can we get that done through you?
Yes, absolutely. If you have one that you have a question about, please contact me, email,
Okay.
work order, and we'll come look at those. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So just what can you do to keep safe? Be prepared. One of the main things is you see on TV a house fire and different things. A lot of them are getting more realistic where they show the fire department going in and it's very dark, it's very smoky, and that's the actuality. That's what's going to happen. For one of these smoke heads to go off, it takes a lot of smoke to fill up the room and get up there at the ceiling, and it's going to be dark and black. So you need to know how to get out of your apartment if you cannot see and the lights are not working. Okay, that's something you need to practice, know the layout of your house, and you might think, I've lived there 5 years, I've lived there 3 years, I know how to get out of the house, I know where everything's at, but turn the lights out and try it. It's a lot different, okay? So that's something you really need to do is practice feeling your way out of the house. As we were asked, portable fire extinguishers, yes, get one. They're great. We had one used here recently in the building. Worked wonderful. It was perfect. They come in different sizes. You don't need a huge one, but absolutely have one in your kitchen. Learn those extra tips for putting out a grease fire or some kind of fire on your stovetop or within if you're trying to broil something, what to do. The baking soda, putting baking soda on it, putting salt on it, just covering it. Flour, Ken knows too. Put flour on it. Anything that's going to cover it and cut the oxygen off will stop that fire, okay? And do you know how to set off the fire alarm in the building? The answer's right there. Pull a pull station. It's real easy. You push it in a little bit, pull down on it, and everybody knows you just did it. And everybody usually wants to, especially in high school.
There's been a big safety push on lithium batteries.
Yes.
And one of the things I learned is do not ever put water on a lithium battery fire. It makes it worse. It needs to be covered, or just learn how to run like hell.
Correct. And Mr. Robley is absolutely correct. There has been a lot of talk now on the lithium batteries because people used to think they're just in the cars. That's the type of battery that's in the car, but you'd be amazed at how many lithium batteries you have in your apartment or your house right now, that you probably have in your pocket or your wallet, is your phone, your computers, some clocks, the clocks that don't actually take batteries. Anything that you have like a USB cord that you recharge has a lithium battery in it, and they are very dangerous, especially when they catch on fire. And I've been to a couple seminars on them. We are looking into, there are special bags that you can buy that if something's starting to overheat, you can put it in that bag and close it up, and it'll make it safe, make it easier to carry outside. We are looking at some of that stuff, and I am hoping at some point to get with the fire chief. I know the fire chief spoke to the Rotary Club on that, and I'm hoping to get him out here to speak to y'all on that as well. Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir. How do you recycle one? That is a great question that I don't have the answer directly for you right now, but we can work on getting that for you. All right. So after hours, this is the big part where I know is on a lot of y'all's minds. During the day, from 8 to 5, the building's crawling with staff. Extra people are here. It's less nerve-wracking, I guess, if a fire were to happen in that time period. But it's the after hours. It's the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, midnight. So this is where the main thing out of this whole entire slide, y'all can read it. I'm not going to read this entire slide to you, but know where, if you're in the building, know where the stairwells are. That's the main thing you need to know, is where the stairwells are. The stairwells are designed as refuge for safety, and that's where you want to head to if you feel unsafe. Okay. I know our policy is that you stay in your apartment. Somebody will come by and let you know what's going on. We are working on making that process better. I know it doesn't always work the best, and we do need to look at that policy for here in the building. But here in the building, if you live on second floor and third floor, know where the stairwell is. That's your place of refuge. If you just hear the alarm and you're nervous about it, you're scared about it, and you would feel safer, go to the stairwell. If the fire is actually on the floor you're on, you can see smoke, head to the stairwell. If you need assistance getting down, assistance will be coming with the fire department. If you feel like you're in immediate danger, just start bumping that butt down the stairs the best you can, okay? Any way you can get down those stairs, if you don't feel like you can traverse them walking down, just get on your butt, pretend you're 5 years old again, sliding down the stairs, okay? Be prepared.
Greg, can I ask?
Yes, sir.
In that same vein of escaping a fire, at what point during that cycle, when the fire begins, do the elevators shut off?
The elevators do not shut off unless the fire is triggered by one of the smoke detectors directly at it.
So they will stay
They will stay
operable
working.
during a fire?
But the problem is, you don't know where the fire is unless the fire is in your apartment or the apartment next door. You don't know where the fire is, and you run the risk of being trapped in there. Now we have an entrapment scenario, and the elevator shafts are not designed the same way a stairwell is designed. So now you're talking about a long shaft that's going to create a beautiful place for the fire to spread faster, and then you'll be entrapped in there.
Which leads to the question of why don't they shut them down?
It's a great question that I'll get a great answer from the fire marshal. He's coming here today. Some buildings, they do shut down. Other buildings, they remain open. I have worked in a couple of hospital systems where we did have people that were specially trained to be able to use them during a fire. And actually, each month, you might see me out there going up and down on the elevator. I'm actually testing the firefighter controls on the elevator. So they do still work, but we don't want you to get on it to try and get to safety, because you could get trapped and become stuck on there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Does every stairwell go outside?
Yes,
Eventually.
yes. They all do. When you reach the bottom, there is a door to go outside. The door that leads back into the building, in most cases, is locked except for a couple of them.
We have a fire extinguisher right between 6 and 7 at Kintyre.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been there for 7 years or a little bit more. I wouldn't know how to get in there or whether it's ever been checked. So you might want to check that. But I don't have a fire extinguisher in my apartment. Should we all have a? I know, I've always had one at my house wherever I lived. I always had one in the kitchen.
Yes, you are more than welcome to get one for inside your house. They're, as you were told, they're not expensive.
No, they're not.
Easy to find. You can get them at Lowe's. They come in a couple of different sizes. One's like a small, looks
Yeah.
like an aerosol can.
Right.
The others have a little trigger to them. They are very simple to operate. And I am looking into doing just a strictly resident-related live fire training with fire extinguisher as well, just like I do for the staff.
Well, you might want to check that one.
The fire extinguishers in the building and out at the houses,
This
thank
is
you for bringing that
outside.
up. There, around the garden apartments, there are fire extinguishers on the front of it, and throughout the houses, it's like every other house, there is a fire extinguisher, except for the new build houses that are out there, we have not installed extra fire extinguishers there yet. Yes, sir?
Are those ones out with AC units?
Yes, yes. And those are inspected every month and annually by a contractor. Okay. So if you are in the building and the fire alarm goes off, the two places we want you to meet at, as long as those places are safe, are the Rose Garden and the Frog Garden. Do not stand in the roadways. The fire department vehicles will be coming in fairly quick. They'll be looking around, but don't jump out in front of them to try and flag them down and point to where the fire is. Let them figure that out. Stay on the sidewalk, stay out of their way so you don't get hit. And again, do you know how to use a fire extinguisher? And what I train the staff on is PASS, P-A-S-S, which is pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. And at this point, I just realized I did not bring a fire extinguisher with me to kind of demonstrate that. But there is a pin that goes through the handle. So when you just pick it up and you're carrying it to look at it or move it from location to location to bring it to the fire, that pin stops you from accidentally firing that fire extinguisher. So there's a pin that you pull out of it, you aim the hose at the base of the fire, squeeze the two handles together, which opens the valve, and then you just sweep side to side until the fire is out or the fire extinguisher is exhausted. Okay. Be vigilant. It's a hard word to say when you're standing in front of everybody. Be vigilant. Don't leave your fireplaces unattended for those that do have fireplaces. Don't leave the house or leave the room for a long time. Take a nap and leave your fireplace going. There are safety features built into the newer fireplaces, the gas logs, but it's just a very dangerous situation to leave it going on its own, especially if you have pets that like to walk along and knock stuff over. Remember that lighted candles are prohibited on campus. Any of the units, you cannot have lighted candles. Christmas lights are not allowed around windows or doors and door frames in the main building. And do not overload outlets and use power strips properly. Power strips are designed to be an extension of that outlet, but you have to make sure whatever the rating is for that outlet, that you're not exceeding that, okay? And you cannot put power strips together to make one great long one. Okay, remember that. That is on the quiz. All right, so to finish up with some fire is fast, okay? Fire can spread very quickly, especially if you have a lot of paperwork, some antique furniture, anything like that in the house that's not up to today's standard codes. A small fire can become a major fire in 30 seconds. Fire is hot. So a room temperature can be 100 degrees at the floor level, but 600 degrees if you're trying to stand up and walk out. That's why a lot of times they tell you to crawl out. Smoke rises, heat rises, so you want to stay low when you're trying to get out of a unit that is on fire. Fire is dark, okay? As I was saying earlier, you need to practice to get out of your home, your apartment, without being able to see. Feel your way out, know where everything is. As I said, a lot of the TV shows are getting more realistic with showing how the fire is, but a lot of times they show it's like you can see across the room and there's a fire going, the whole wall's engulfed, but there's no smoke anywhere. That's not what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot more smoke than there is fire, okay? And fire is deadly. A lot of this newer stuff that is designed not to catch on fire easily will give off toxic fumes. That's another reason you want to stay low The fumes are with the smoke, they're traveling up, and you want to stay low and crawl out. Okay. All right. That ends my presentation. Any questions?
Just another comment on the heat of fires. The other thing on the lithium battery fires, they said they go from 0 to 1,100 degrees almost immediately.
Yes. And they can reignite. As you were saying earlier, water is not the best thing for them. They have actually had cars where they've had to put over 5,000 gallons of water on that car to get the flames out. They loaded the vehicle up onto a flatbed, took it to the junkyard, set it down in the junkyard, and a day later it reignited and burnt the junkyard. So, yeah, they're dangerous. Lithium batteries are very dangerous, and you need to be mindful of them. Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time. Again, I have quizzes over here for those that want to try and take it. It is I'm not going to call it open book, it's open page. There is one page that has all the answers in front, and then the quiz is behind it. And I would appreciate them back when you're done. All right, thank you.
All right, good morning. It's just about lunchtime, so I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. But our Environmental Services Department does consist of 28 staff members. I'm the director. I'm also the safety coordinator. And by safety coordinator, I'm not alone. All the managers are in that group and some frontline staff. We do discuss staff safety as well as resident safety, and review policies, procedures, and that type of thing on all the emergency management stuff, the fire safety stuff that Greg just went over. And so I kind of direct the day-to-day operations of the department, and along with budgeting, labor, and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to introduce you to Camisa Bryant, who is the assistant manager, and then Tara Rodriguez, who is our lead EVS technician. They are really new in their positions. As you know, Charles Lowry left not too long ago, and Camisa took his position. Camisa, and some of you know her as Lady. Camisa helps me every single day with all of the daily operations. And our department is, we have a large department, so we've kind of got staff who report to her and staff who report to me. All of the healthcare, Heather Glenn, and the floor techs report to me, as well as these two. And then all of the independent living staff members report to Camisa. Okay? Camisa's been with us about almost 3 years. She came in as a housekeeper, moved to lead technician, moved to supervisor, and now she's the assistant manager. Yes. And Tara came in as a housekeeper. A lot of you probably are not familiar with her because she has worked the healthcare area since she's been here in Farmhouse, and she just recently moved to the lead technician role. Tara trains all of our new hires, and she not only trains them in what to do, but they also have checklists in Works Hub that they have to go through. And she trains them how to use the Work Hub system and all that type of stuff, okay? So if you ever need anything and I'm not available,
Please call me.
yes, okay. All right. And so I'll move on to some of the services that we provide. We do provide some daily housekeeping services of all of the common spaces. All common spaces, offices, bathrooms, and all that are cleaned daily. And then weekly housekeeping services for resident apartments and in the homes. We do the changing of bed linens. We wash and fold bed linens, cleaning of the bathrooms and the kitchen, except dishes. The dusting of furniture, cabinets, and doors, sweeping, mopping, and vacuuming. And those are the weekly services. But in addition to, wrong one. In addition to the weekly service, there's one extra thing that is added to that is done on a monthly basis, and it's set on a rotation throughout the month so that by the end of the month, everything that's a monthly service should be completed in your home. We do the dusting of the high areas, such as the ceiling corners, the light fixtures, the vents, and the ceiling fans. Dusting of blinds and window sills, dusting under and behind furniture, and that's furniture that's up off the floor. Vacuuming of couches and chairs, and dusting of baseboards. Okay. And then on an annual basis, in resident homes and apartments, we do cleaning behind and under appliances, window cleaning, carpet extraction of the traffic areas, and that's upon request. And then mechanically scrubbing of tile and grout, and that's also upon request. And then as needed, we carpet spot wherever it's needed. Okay. And then we also have some additional services for a fee. The additional services form can be found in the mailbox area where the manager's mailboxes are. It's right up under her mailbox. And if anything on there listed, if you wish to have something different than what's listed, if you'll just give me a call and we can discuss it. Okay. In assisted living and the healthcare areas, we do daily housekeeping of all the resident rooms, that's cleaning and the disinfection. We do daily laundry service of the bath and bed linens, as well as the residents' personal clothing. We label resident personal clothing to ensure that it doesn't get lost, even though sometimes it does. And then we also do the cleaning and disinfection of all the common spaces in healthcare, floor care, and the garbage collection. Okay. I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions, but I'll also be available at the back for any individual questions that you'd like to ask, and also pick up some literature. I do have a brochure back there that kind of summarizes the services, as well as gives all of the staff's names in the department and our relationship with other departments. Also, when we started Works Hub, we asked residents to fill out a preference sheet. Some of those preferences have changed since we started that. So I would like for everyone to pick up an updated one that can be updated. I have them back here at the table. And that'll include such things as, like, we have some residents who only wish their bed changed every 2 weeks. We have some residents, that wants it done not at all because they want to do it themselves. So that's the kind of things that I need updating. And what that does is I can update that work order in Works Hub so that if your housekeeper is on vacation or for whatever reason sick, then the next housekeeper who's filling in for her will already know what your preferences are. Okay? All right. Any questions? Okay.
Hello, everybody. I know we're getting close to lunch as well, as Melissa said, and I'm just going to keep it rolling, okay? If you have any questions, though, be sure to ask. I'm Ravonda John. I am the community mentor for assisted living, which means I help with the administration of assisted living, and I also oversee human resources. Okay, they told me to use this, but didn't tell me how. Let's see, that does it. Okay, so I want to first give you an overview of Heather Glenn quickly. So when a resident or an outside person comes to assisted living, what are you telling me to do? Oh, yeah, I don't have anything on the screen for assisted living. I have a brochure over here or a handout that you can pick up, so I'm just going to just say this quickly. When a person comes to assisted living, they come from either inside or someone from the outside. They do have to have an FL2, so they will see our social worker, who is Alex Williams, and our admissions coordinator is Jordan Chavis. Parker Bullard is our nurse mentor, and then, of course, I'm there as the administrator. So assisted living, we just provide the housing, meals, and personal care for residents that need help with their daily living. They actually need help. They're not total care. Total care is skilled nursing. And so we do help them with their bathing and their dressing as on a standby basis, as well as toileting if they need it on standby. And they have to be able to ambulate themselves to get themselves to and from the dining room to the bathroom and those kind of things. And we also do medication administration. When you get off the elevator on the second floor, you actually would take a left off the elevator. All of those rooms down that first hall are single units. But over on our back hall, we have couples units. We have 4 couples units and then 4 expanded studio units. So when a person gets on our waiting list, if a person comes and they want to be on the waiting list, if we have a couple, the couple gets first choice for our couples units, okay, in assisted living. And there is a list of services, like I said, on the table of things that we do when you come to assisted living. What I want to talk about mostly in human resources, a lot of you know Sharonessa. Sharonessa is our HR specialist, so she manages a lot of the recruiting and the day-to-day. But your investment in our employees is our benefits. It's something that a lot of residents don't know that you offer, that you contribute to for our employees. So to be eligible for benefits, you do have to be a full-time employee, which is 30 hours or more per week. And so they are eligible as well as their dependents. And the benefits changed. It used to be 90 days. But we work a lot on our retention of employees, and we talk about what does it take to keep our good employees. So we changed last year. We changed our benefits to the first, after 30 days, the first of the month following 30 days of hire, so that our employees can receive benefits for themselves and their families sooner. Some of our benefits are a flex spending account. They have the healthcare flex spending, which they can put in $3,000 per year for that account. Flex spending account, for those who don't know what that is an employee sets aside, actually decides how much money they want to use to help with co-pays, maybe some unforeseen expenses that they may have medically, maybe some of over-the-counter drugs as well, that they can set aside. They actually, it's loaded on a Visa card, like a debit card, and then they pay it back on a bi-weekly basis out of payroll deduction. But it gives them immediate access to funding, basically to help them. And we also have dependent care flex spending also for those who might need that. We have MetLife for our dental plan. We have two plans. We have a base plan, which is $1,000 a year is the maximum benefit for that base plan. And our buy-up plan is $1,500 a year for their benefit maximum. We have MetLife Vision. Our exams are $10 copay for employees. Lenses for their glasses, a $25 copay. And then frames they are allowed up to $150. And then 20% off any amount over that allowance is what the frames allowance is. We offer life insurance. Basic term life insurance is no cost to the employee, and it's 1 times their annual earnings. And then our voluntary life, they have an option to purchase up to $230,000 based on their income level, and they can purchase up to $30,000 for a spouse and that should be $10,000 for a child. For children, and that doesn't matter if they have 1 child or 10 children. Those children are only they're $10,000, and it's just 1 premium amount. So they're not paying a premium for each child. It's just 1 premium amount for the children. Short-term disability, they have option to purchase that, and it pays them 60% of their weekly income. And then the benefits begin the 15th day of disability, and it's paid for 11 weeks. That would total 90 days. If an employee cannot come back to work after 90 days, then it kicks in with long-term disability. That long-term disability is at no cost. It's another thing that employees get that is no hardship for them. But then 60% of their monthly income is replaced after that 90 days, and then it's paid. An employee may not be able to return to work, so that long-term disability pays them until their Social Security retirement age, okay? Then we offer them health coverage through Blue Cross and Blue Shield. There are 2 plans. There is a core plan, which is a $2,500 deductible, a $25 copay for primary care, $50 copay for a specialist. Our buy-up plan, which means they pay a little more for this plan because the deductible is lower. It's a $1,750 deductible, and the co-payments are the same, $25 and $50. And then the pharmacy is the same on both plans, depending on what kind of drug they have to have or prescription. So there are 4 tiers ranging from $15 to $75. And other benefits that are offered, these benefits are all of them are optional, but these are benefits where the employee is not managed by us. They actually contact the insurance company or what have you for these benefits. You've heard of Aflac, right? You know, everybody's heard of Aflac. It's that kind of benefit. So we have accident insurance, critical illness insurance, hospital indemnity, identity theft protection, and they can also get pet insurance as well. And then we have other benefit programs. We have an employee assistance program for all of our full-time and part-time employees, because life happens whether you're a full-time employee or a part-time employee, and their family members. So they can receive confidential counseling services, legal assistance, grief counseling. If they're having problems with a coworker or a boss or whatever, they can call this EAP program and talk with the counselor as well. The great thing about our employee assistance program also is it has a very robust educational program with it, where employees can go out and take classes on things that are happening in their day-to-day lives. And the only time we know if an employee has contacted an employee assistance program is if they are a danger to themselves or a danger to others. So it's highly confidential, and we never know who calls, and we never know what for, okay? And then Smart Dollar. This is another program that is no cost to employees. If you've heard of Dave Ramsey, who is the financial guru that a lot of people listen to, he has developed a Smart Dollar program for employees to help them with their budgeting, to pay off debt, and to save for emergency funds and those kinds of things. The average person pays off over $9,000 of debt and saves over $6,000 in the first 12 months. It's a very robust program. Employees do not have to pay for this program. It's also free for them to help them reach their financial goals. And that's what we have in our benefits. Anything, any questions at all? Okay? Well, if you do, you see me around, ask. Okay? Yes.
I was told that some of the employees cannot afford the insurance and they qualify for Medicaid because of their income level, so they have to go on Medicaid. Is that true?
That could be true, yes, and Medicaid doesn't cost them anything. But we do have, in our plan, we have different tiers as well. We have individual and spouse, family, and then the employee and children. So they do have different options that they can select from. Okay.
I hope they're able to increase their level of pay so that we can keep some of these employees that we're losing.
So, yeah, sometimes it's difficult to keep up with the high cost of insurance. Everybody know how everything's going up, and to keep up with, the salaries up with the rate that the insurance is going up. Sometimes that's pretty tough. Okay.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm Hannah Davis. I'm the Associate Director, and I'm the Healthcare Administrator for all of our healthcare areas here at Scotia. But I'm going to focus on our skilled area today. So what is skilled nursing? It's a healthcare setting that provides 24/7 medical care for our residents, that provide assistance with activities of daily living and also other medical needs that they may have. Here at Scotia, we have 58 duly certified private rooms, which 10 of those are our Urban House residents. That's our memory care unit. So some of the services that we provide is, of course, nursing care, which could be wound care management, medication administration, vital sign monitoring, and so forth. We also provide physical, occupational, and speech therapy with Trinity Rehab, short-term rehabilitation, medical supplies and equipment, social services, and then, of course, again, activities of daily living. And you may ask, what is activities of daily living, which is dressing, bathing, toileting, feeding yourself. Those are some of the things that, you would do on a regular basis, on a daily basis. Yes, ma'am.
If you're a resident of skilled and you have physical therapy, is that included in your monthly fee?
I'll go over that in just a minute. I'll break it down a little bit more. But this is kind of just breaks it down basically what I just went over. But you have a private room, you have a call button in your room and in your bathroom. You have daily housekeeping, laundry services, medication management. Of course, there's nursing staff, which is your nurses and your CNAs 24/7 around the clock providing care. All your meals are provided on your household. Life enrichment program, which is your activity. So there's a robust activities program that you have. And then we do care planning with yourself and the family quarterly and as needed. Okay, so I know this was one of the big things you guys wanted to look at what the cost may be for healthcare, and so this is just room and board. So this is the daily rate for room and board. This does not include any supplies or equipment or anything like that. But up top is Heather Glenn, which is our assisted living. So you can see, as Ravonda was talking about, we have different rooms. We have studios all the way up to a one bedroom, and so the monthly fee will differ. So it's about $5,500 for the studio, all the way up to $12,800 for the biggest assisted living room that we have. And for independent living, that entrance fee, you've already paid that coming into independent living, so you don't pay it again. That's just for residents that come directly into our healthcare area, skipping the independent living side. And then if you look at special care, that's our urban house, that's our memory care. And so they're $372 a day. And then our skilled care outside of the memory care unit is $366 a day, which is about $11,000 a month for room and board.
That's per person?
Per person.
Maybe part of what Sue's question was, having experienced this with my mother-in-law, first of all, got excellent care, very, very supportive of what we do here. But there will be charges above and beyond what you're seeing in terms of the discounted daily fee. And I know that could sometimes be a surprise to people, so maybe if you could go a little bit of detail into that.
Yeah, so supplies, as far as like the biggest expense would be briefs, pull-ups, that kind of thing. That's your biggest expense. So if we provide that, because not everybody in skilled care wears those. Some are continent and can transfer and go to the bathroom. Most are not, but so that's an additional fee, an expense that you would receive on your bill. I don't have the breakdown in front of me. Yeah, you have your medications. Now, here, I'll skip over, and it's kind of, sorry, I apologize, it's a little cut off. But it kind of breaks down of what insurance can cover certain things. So Medicare Part A, this does not cover any services in assisted living. That's strictly private pay in assisted living. But in our skilled nursing, if you go to the hospital and you have a qualified hospital stay, which is 3 nights, 3 overnights in the hospital, you can qualify your Medicare Part A benefits, which is where you would come to skilled nursing to get rehab, and the goal would be for you to go back to your prior level of functioning, whatever that may be. And so that would be your Part A benefits, and that can be up to 100 days. That doesn't mean they'll cover up to 100 days, but they're saying there's 100 days there. If you show continued improvement and you're meeting your goals, you can have up to 100 days under your Part A benefits. And then Part B services, that's your therapy services that can be covered under Part B outside of the Medicare Part A. So the difference is with your Part A, that's very extensive therapy services. You'll be getting therapy every day, about 6 days a week. But with Part B, you're getting therapy services about 3 times a week. So there is a difference there. But you can get therapy, any level of care under your Medicare Part B insurance. And then for your Medicare Part D, that's your drug plan. And so we use Southern Pharmacy in healthcare, but you can use other pharmacies that are local, but they'll bill your Part D drug plan, and then of course that some fees will come into play depending on what type of Medicare, because some have Advantage plans, not a traditional Medicare, so that differs what your drug plan is. Then we also have Medicaid. So when I mentioned all of our beds are duly certified, that means a Medicare resident or a Medicaid resident can be in all of our beds. And so Medicaid is when you have depleted your assets. It has to be, you're not qualified until you reach $2,000 or less to qualify for Medicaid. And we do have some residents that are on Medicaid benefit in our skilled nursing. Again, that's not for assisted living, that's just for our skilled nursing area. And then long-term care insurance, not everybody has long-term care insurance, but if you do, it really differs upon your coverage, so you'd have to reach out to your policy holder to see what it covers. Any questions on the insurance side? Because I know that's a lot. And then I just threw up some questions that I hear a lot of times and I've heard in other places too. So if you're in healthcare, which is skilled nursing or assisted living, do you have to change your primary care physician? And the short answer is no, but you know, we partner with Corona Health, and if you do switch over to Dr. Sheth or Paul, it's just more, it is convenient because they're here Monday through Friday. If something was to come up, we can usually get an order very quickly because there's even the on-call service, and we just have that relationship with them, but it's not required. Second question, can I leave campus for family vacations and outings in assisted living and skilled nursing? And absolutely. We don't want you to feel like once you get into healthcare, you're stuck there. A lot of residents go out on leave of absences with families overnights, and that is great. We want you to do that. We just ask you to check in with the nurse mentor because, of course, if you go overnight, there'll be medications we need to go over with you and provide you so you can have those medications on your leave. Our hospice service is available, and they're available in assisted living and in skilled nursing. We do have 2 contracts right now, one with Scotland County Hospice and the other with Richmond County Hospice. And then what do my Grace Day cover? So every independent living resident have 14 days of grace days that can be used in our skilled nursing every year. And that just covers your room and board again, those fees that I mentioned. That's room and board, but again, your 14 days is already covered in what you buy into in independent living. And so some of the reasons that you may use grace days would be for injury, illness, or we have some that has a spouse that may be having surgery themselves or going out of town, and so they can bring their spouse for respite care. Any questions about that? Okay. And so I'm going to touch base a little bit about some nursing services. So of course you all know Kathy Williams, who is our clinic nurse, and she has that access for independent living residents to provide some medical needs. And she's here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 p.m. And then independent living residents can sign up to use our provider service with Corona. And there's 2 different services, as we've mentioned in the past. You could do urgent care, so you're just seeing them for acute needs, or you can change to your primary care physician and see them here in-house. And then, of course, just call Kathy to get appointments scheduled. Dr. Anup Sheth, he is our medical director, so he is the MD. He is our medical director for assisted living and our skilled nursing, and he's here on Mondays. He's typically here a full day, get here about 10 o'clock on Mondays and gone by 3 or 4. And so you can catch him here on Mondays. And so some people have preference to see the MD versus the PA, which Paul is a physician assistant. And so if that's the case, then you would set up an appointment with Kathy for a Monday when he is here. Paul, he's a certified physician assistant, and he's on site Monday through Friday, typically from 8 to 4, 8 to 5-ish, just depending on the day. And then emergency pendants, of course, we've been talking about those, and Susan and I talked about at another session about a month ago, just encouraging everybody to wear your pendants. And so when you have your pendant on, if you have an emergency, you will have access to a nurse 24/7. And when Kathy is here, of course, she will answer the calls, but if it's after hours, our Heather Glenn nurse or the clubhouse nurse will answer that pendant call. Some of the reasons you may want to press your pendant is if you have an acute change as far as like you've fallen, you feel dizzy, you just don't feel well, you want somebody to come take your vitals. And that sort of thing. But if you're having chest pain, stroke-like symptoms, you want to call 911 and then press your pendant to make sure that you have that emergency service on the way. think that's it for me. Yeah. Yep. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk a little bit about transitioning either from independent into assisted living or skilled nursing, or also, because this happened to us, you go into the hospital for an emergency, but the independent person can't go, isn't well enough, let's say, to go back to their independent, but want to go into skilled nursing for a short period of time, and we're looking at a holiday weekend, and no one's around. What do we do?
Yeah, so if you go into the hospital and you don't have that 3-night stay, the only hang up with that sometimes is as Ravonda mentioned, we do have something called an FL2 that every resident, no matter what the circumstance is in healthcare, has to have signed by the physician before you can be in a bed in healthcare. So that's something that we have to work through, but there's been some issues in the past maybe 3 months that have been that same scenario. And we've developed a good relationship with Dr. Sheth. Myself and Susan have access to him after hours, holidays, weekends. And so we've been able sometimes to get in touch with him to get that completed. So we will try our best to work that out. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the hospital wanted to release my mother-in-law, and there was no way she could go back.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And we've worked out a process too. If we know certain residents that may have, a lot of health needs or, are frail and that kind of thing. So we work with Kathy too to try to get some FL2s in advance if we know it may be an issue. And those are good for 30 days. So even if we get that completed and we haven't had to use it in 30 days, it's expired after that. So then we'd have to get another one in place. But we try to be proactive if we know of things. But if it's, something that we couldn't predict, that's where it kind of gets a little sticky. But, we will try our best to get that, to transition that smoothly and work with the hospital as well.
What do you do if you signed up for urgent care and you have an urgent care and you're told there are no appointments available?
So if there's no appointments available, then for any, you want to be seen that day and it can't wait for the next day, then you can go to urgent care in the community. And if it's after hours, there is an on-call number you can call and you can get a provider through the after hours
Well, it
line.
makes me wonder why I signed up for urgent care if I cannot be seen that day. And
Yeah.
this was early in the morning, and they said, I'm sorry, they're booked for the day, and
A lot, and I will say a lot of times, Kathy and Paul will work you in. I don't know if I've seen that situation yet, because we do have appointments, but there is some wiggle room in between appointments too. And Paul's really good about, trying to find that free time in his schedule to get somebody in for urgent care.
a couple of weeks ago. What happened was I was urinating blood, and I called, and Kathy says, well, we're going to need you to give a blood sample, a urine sample. I said, sure, I can come in. But she said, we can't see you today. The good Lord was just with me while I was in the room and had my urine sample. It was almost all blood. The PA walked in, and he says, you need something. And he was able to see me.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only way I could see. I was just lucky he came in the same time I was in Kathy's office.
Right, right. Okay. All right, thank you.
We all know why you're here. It's for wellness. So I am Sarah Leviner. I'm the wellness director. Some of my day-to-day duties, I'm fortunate to be able to provide services for independent, assisted, and skilled, that being with either classes, working one-on-one with residents. As residents come in, they go through an orientation of the Wellness Center. We also do assessments, a physical assessment and a balance assessment, and those are also done annually. So we have our balance assessment in the fall, and then your senior fitness test in the spring. And I would highly recommend everyone participate in those. Some feedback that I get is that, oh, I already know my balance is terrible, I don't want to go see it. But if you've never been on the Hearst Smart Balance, it's a very intelligent machine that shows a lot of data, and it can help in guiding what the issue is and how we can fix it. And there have been a couple residents that we have met with and we saw an issue, and that it would be something that's more conducive to go to physical therapy for, and they did that and followed up, and then they ended up fixing the issue and improving their balance. So knowledge is power, so use the available resources that you have. So not to brag, but our department doubled last year in staff. So our activities is also under the wellness umbrella. So true or false, wellness is just about fitness. That is false. Wellness is a full person ideology, and each Kentura community, not sure if Wellsprings quite adopted it yet, but on the way, is we do share 6 dimensions of wellness, and each community has their own wellness program. But our goal is to hit all of these dimensions throughout our monthly calendar, which our department tries our best to reach all of these things. But this department is heavily dependent on you guys. So our our activities committee that meets once a month, they bring the ideas, and we just try to facilitate it the best possible way. So if you have anything that you want to see happen, or people to come in, or trips to take, we are all ears, and we want to provide the best thing for you. Okay. And then lastly, our classes, our fitness classes. I lead most, but we have, Al who leads it, and Linda who also has a wonderful classes that I would highly recommend. Each one of I know for a fact for these guys and myself, sometimes people think, oh, I can't do that. I'm physically unable to. Everything can be catered to you and be modified for you, and that is just not a viable excuse. Okay, you got to come in and see for yourself. But if you're not somebody who works out by themselves, you have other means of moving your body, and that's just the biggest thing. Any questions? Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you all so much for coming today. I know that was a lot of information, but I hope you can see there are a lot of opportunities for service here at Scotia Village. These people work hard to make sure your life here is a good one. Please tell people to come this afternoon. If you want to come back again this afternoon and hear it again, you're welcome to do that. But did run a little long, but we appreciate your patience in hearing us out. They do have some information at the tables if you want to come get some information, but thank you all for coming. Have a great day.